So range phase is the easiest for Zulrah. When we see it's range phase, not mage, we want to pop our magic potion. We want to use our thrall, so we're getting our max DPS. Make sure we're hitting him. As soon as he starts spitting out his minions, we can swap to Mage Prayer. Once he goes down, next phase appears, we want to move to the green tile marked 1. The reason we're using Mage Prayer is to reduce damage versus the minions. It doesn't 100% work, but it can sometimes mean that you take 0 damage during this phase, and it overall reduces the damage. So, once he drops down after his second attack, we're going to kill this snakeling, and then attack the next snakeling over here, dragging ourselves to this tile. Still safe spotting the Zulrah, getting ready to move to the green 2, swapping back to range prayer. We need to be behind this pillar as we're trying to block the next phase of Zulrah, which is going to appear on the left hand side of the screen. So we don't do any DPS here, this is a good opportunity to eat, use prayer potions, resummon your thrall. No range prayer is required for this phase. You just want to be standing on around the 2 tile, you can move here and still hit him. Then want to move to tile 3, range prayer up, attacking the next phase of Zulrah. The reason we're on this tile is because mage phase is going to spawn in the middle here. We want to have it blocked and safe spotted so we can change gear and not take any random attacks. Use range potion, run over as Jad phase is going to appear on the far right. We'll just blowpipe him down. You can use your scales on either blowpipe or serp to save yourself a slot. Generally in this first phase, I don't use any potions or prayer, and I just sit on World Switcher in case we get a mage phase. Right, so as soon as he attacks, you want to move into that bait tile and then back, and as you can see, it tricks the AI into attacking in the same quadrant. Once he's down, run up here, same thing for melee phase. As soon as he goes down, run to tile 2. Alright, we've got north, which means prayer up. Summon your thrall here. So when we get range phase north, it means we're going to go into melee phase and then into mage phase. Once he stops attacking, you can turn on your mage prayer to just reduce the amount of damage you're taking from these minions. Alright, so we know that there's going to be a mage phase coming up next, so I'm going to get ready to change into our mage gear. After a second attack, do that, make sure your prayer is correct. And here we're just going to sit in our inventory. We want to stay above 42 health, so if you see a range hit, be ready to eat. And then we're going to tile 3A. We're going to keep Mage Prayer up here because we're concerned about the minions and he's not attacking us. As soon as his head pops down, we're going to be running to the safe spot here. You can choose to stay either in this tile or in position 1 and do range damage to the head. You're obviously risking range hits if that's the case. Once he turns his head, we want to start running over to tile green 3, try and avoid poison. Range prayer up. If you have a thrall, it's worthwhile to hit him once so that your thrall starts attacking. And we're in Jad phase. Once the poison clouds behind us drop, we're going to take a step backwards just so we have a little bit of extra clearance. Do it between Jad hits. Once he attacks, you're good to swap prayer. So swap prayer, make the movement, and then give yourself those extra ticks for this poison cloud attack. So same as the start, we're going to stand in the bait tile for when melee phase comes up. As soon as he starts pointing in this direction, we're going to move back 1, into the bait tile for 1 tick, and then out again, and we've just avoided that phase, no damage. So last phase is range. Make sure your prayer's up. Do as much damage as you can. Thrall's still attacking. I'm just going to wait until he starts spitting poison again. We can take off our range prayer. In between phases, if I take a lot of damage and a lot of prayer drain, generally what I'll do is bring in 2 brews so that I can use those instead of my instant food, which is more for tick eats and kind of in the fight. So I've got enough here that I can take 2 sips of restore, so I'm just going to use all of my juice. Try and make sure you have an extra slot here. Because we're using blowpipe, we need to have an extra slot available for our shield switch. So take this time to maneuver your inventory so everything's ready to go. And into Jad we go. Start an encounter on the bait tile just in case it's melee phase. No prayer, no thralls just yet, in case we get a phase we're not going to do. It's only 25% of the time, but that's what I do. Okay, melee phase. Wait till he's attacking in that diagonal direction. After the attack goes off, into the bait tile for 1 tick, and then back out of it. If you're in that tile when he attacks, you will get hit if he's facing the south direction. Tile red 1. Running over. So when Jad spawns on this side, when Zulrah spawns on this side, we don't need to pray anything. Once he starts spitting minions out, we're going to pray Mage just to reduce the amount of damage we take. And in this circumstance, the next phase that comes up is going to be a Mage phase. So pre-pot, get into your gear. You can stand in this safe spot tile here, but generally I use this as an opportunity to deal a bit more damage. Drop specs if you're below 100% health. He spits 1, 2 minions, then we need to move to red 2 to avoid the poison clouds that are here. Next phase is going to be a melee phase, spawning in the middle, so get into your mage gear. Make sure you've got the right prayer up, just being mage to reduce minion damage, summon your thrall, do all that kind of stuff. So once this guy goes down, we're going to be running to tile 3B, putting on range prayer. This range phase right here. Getting ready, as soon as he pops his head down, we're going to be moving to the safe spot right here. So you only have a single tick of clearance to make sure you're safe from this minion. Hit him once he starts spitting out minions, he's not going to be attacking anymore. So your thrall starts getting hits, and you might land the occasional hit. Range prayer up, ready for Jad phase. So same as the other melee rotation, we're going to take a step back here just so we have an additional couple of ticks of clearance once he starts spitting poison. Going to stand in the bait tile, have a bit of downtime. I generally don't thrall when he's below 50 or 100 health just because it's a waste of prayer points. Get ready to stand into the bait tile, come back. Last phase is ranged. Get your prayer up. There's a secret. If you put on preserve, he drops a blowpipe every time. Scam game. Going over the gear and the inventory setup, go in with our max available mage gear, either bring Ring of Suffering if it's available or recoil. It only really makes a difference once you get past 3 KC per trip, otherwise you can just bring an extra recoil. So magic potion, ranging potion, non-divine, best range gear possible. In terms of downgrades, Anguish to Fury, it's totally fine, very little DPS difference, just you see it more with blowpipe than other weapons. Blowpipe down to Carol's crossbow and replace the blessing with bolt racks, and you can use divines if you like. It's just additional farming time. 3 prayer potions, around 10 to 11 manta rays, which is your you want shark plus. Pineapple pizzas is the quickest one to get if you don't have access to mantas or you're not self-sustaining from the drops. I also bring 2 brews, 1 super restore. This is for when you're down very low, so sub 30 health, missing a lot of prayer, you can use these in between one kill and the next to refresh your health without using a lot of food. You don't generally want to use this in the fight. It's for to extend the trips. Book of the Dead, given that we're on Arceus and using Thralls, and then Mythic Cape is our one-click teleport. In the pouch, so Fire, Blood, Cosmic is for Thralls. What I usually leave this slot blank, and then if I get Chaos or Death Runes first, I'll fill the pouch with that to save an inventory slot. So just bring a single teleport rather than scrollbook so that you're missing a slot, as when this is dropped or used, you have the extra slot available for your shield switch, which you'll need for Mage. If you feel less comfortable with the switches, I would drop the necklace and just bring at least Avers and Blowpipe and work your way up to more switches as you feel comfortable. In terms of other downgrades, obviously Toxic Trident to regular Trident. You can just wield the Book of the Dead for the prayer and the magic bonus. In terms of other stuff, totally fine for Suffering to go to recoil. If you don't have Serp, you want to bring Cure through Lunas, and if you have access to it, Vengeance. Using 4-slot rune pouch, you'd need an extra. You need 5 runes total, so you'd still have an extra slot. Alright, so just quickly detailing the tiles we use here. So generally, red tiles are for melee phase rotations, green tiles are for the range phase rotations, and the blue safe spot tiles are specifically for safe spotting Mage phase Zulrah when he's up here on the south side of the island. The export for these files will be down the bottom, so you can just go to ground markers and import when you copy paste.